tropical outlook and discussion number 4. We are going to be taking a look at the tropics. And yes, I know I haven't made a video in the last 3 days or so, but we are going to be taking a look at Invest 90, the first invest of the Atlantic hurricane season. And yes, I wasn't too surprised. I know I haven't really made any update on this. Kind of came out of the blue. But we are going to be taking a look at a sub Atlantic fish storm possibility. And yes, you are seeing that right. We have a 40-40. And let me just update this. The 11 p.m. should be coming out in the next little bit. We'll keep checking a look at that. But showers and thunderstorms are showing some signs of organizing associated with a low pressure about 450 miles from Bermuda. The waters are pretty conducive, and it is possible that a short-lived tropical depression or storm may happen in the next day or so. By Tuesday, the system is not going to be favorable. So we got tomorrow, we got the rest of tonight and tomorrow morning around that time to get that development. But regardless, this storm is going to be going out to sea, nothing to be worried about. So if we do, it would be a fish storm out to sea, and it will be a very weak tropical storm, if anything 40 miles an hour, but nothing in the Gulf, Caribbean, or the Atlantic. Okay, yes, something in the subtropics. We're gonna have to keep watching up here for any subtropical or tropical storms. That does give us a storm, but maybe we do get a storm by the end of June. Will be the shot. Besides that, I don't see really anything else. Now, we have a lot of things that take a look back. Yes, the Atlantic is still pretty much dead, but there's more and more signs, as I keep saying, and I got some new signs that I'm starting to see within the models. All right. So this is the MJO, and really the MJO is going to be not favorable in the Atlantic. But by June 27th, even into the 2nd of July, there is a chance, okay? The MJO does become a little bit more favorable in the Caribbean and the Bay of Campeche. This could be our second shot. If Andrea doesn't form here, our second shot could form, okay? By July 7th, yes, the Atlantic is not as bad as this, but we still got some downwards motion, a little bit better. But then by mid-July, we get a little bit more favorable, and then another phase back to not so good. We're going to have to keep watching the MJO as it is changing every day. And I have tried everything to find this is the 40 days. So we're just going to have to keep taking a look and watching it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen like this. But we are going to be taking a look at Andrea here. And yes, we are noticing something new here. We got a pretty good convection burst tonight. And that's pretty impressive. Okay. Looks like some of the convection did die, but in the recent hour or so, we have seen a very precise look at some convection. But in all means here, we kind of have a dismantle low. And I'm going to have to see if convection does hit the center. Yes, we have a discrete low pressure, but there is something wrong here. And if you guys do not notice, I clearly noticed. We got it's offset, and the convection's offset. That's because due to some shear. Our low pressure is right here, our low level. Our mid-level spin is right here. First off, the low level, this is the M, all right? This is the L. They're not stacked, so that is a big X. Second off, we got very dry air back in here. The only way this can become a tropical storm is if we can get this convection back over the center and rotating in the center. And if it does not do that by tomorrow morning, the chances will go down, and then there will be no shot for Andrea, however you say that. Regardless, this is a fish storm. It will be having no impacts. Okay? There is quite a bit of convection, though, that is blowing up, and I'm going to want to see how that develops tonight, because that's going to really help us key in some of the major details here. Look at that. You can tell right here we do got some pretty good convection exploding, and the low is actually heading kind of into the convection, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. We do have some wind shear there, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Okay, now I want to take a look at something here. This is the Euro, and we have the GFS. Let's just take it all the way out to 300 and so hours, and I want you guys to take over the Africa box. Okay, oh my, I am very sorry, you guys. Let's take a look. So, as of right now, do you guys see any spin in this part of Africa? Nope, I don't. Alright. I want you to take a look out here. So let's go into June 25th. There is still nothing into June 25th, right? So in the next 5 days or so, we are not expecting no waves, no vorticity. This is that 700 millibar graphic height and cyclonic force. So cyclonic is when you see these darker colors in like this, but into like a ball. That means we got a lot of vorticity and a lot of spinning. But we don't see anything here coming off Africa. But I want you to take to June 30th. Now I'm going to take you to June 30th. Okay. Do you see anything more? Alright, now we're starting to see a little bit more spotty vorticity. Nothing organized. Alright. So that's in the next 10 days. Alright. I want you to go to I want you to go a little bit more. So going to July 1st. Alright, now we're cooking. Let's go to July 2nd. We now get a wave off Africa. We start seeing some more vorticity with the Euro. Alright. I'm sorry about that here on what I did. But let's just take it all the way out. Let's go ahead. Boom. Now look. This is by July 7th. Okay. We have a whole new ball game than where we are. We got a lot more scatter vorticity. Yeah, it's a little bit low, but this vorticity is going to be streaming off here. And there's a pretty strong tropical wave in the first week of July. How can I tell? Is we actually get pretty nice wave here. Some vorticity, not consolidated, but you can tell we get some spin here, some spin there, and some spin there. And then another wave right there. But a lot more vorticity according to the European as we go into the first week of July. That's what I'm looking at. And that's why I want to see how the MJO works and everything. Okay? Now let's do it with the GFS. This is right now, right? Nothing really. Very scattered vorticity. But let's go and take it to the 25th. Yeah, nothing. Let's take it to the 30th. Alright. We got a little bit more spotty. Alright. But nothing big. Now let's take it a little bit more. Now you're starting to see some vorticity as we enter July. And let's just take it all the way through. And now we're starting to see it as we go into July. We start seeing a nice line of vorticity. And we even get some nice vorticity right here coming off Africa. But something else as we get into July 8th. We got a pretty nasty wave coming off in the first week of July. So this is the European and GFS. Yes, it's many days out, 2 weeks out. But there's that more of that sign that the MDR is going to be coming in with more waves, okay? And the CFS is not wrong. All right, that's just something I want to take a look at. I'm not saying anything's going to big happen. All right, and we really don't see anything as we go all this out. We really just see that one wave, pretty suppressed waves here, pretty consolidated. It changes all the time, okay? But we do see something in the, I'm not saying that in the Caribbean. There's a storm that develops in the East Pacific. Then we do this whole wave thing that maybe a piece comes off. This possibility, I don't believe it. Alright. But there is some more MJO in the Caribbean this go around. We take a look at the Canadian as 240 hours out. This is July 2nd. And we see some more vorticity coming off Africa here with the latest Canadian. Look at that. Oh, big pen. Right here. You see that? We got a couple Kelvin wave. So, yeah, we're not talking about too much. And it's pretty interesting that the Canadian is showing such a strong couple Kelvin wave coming off Africa. I don't think so. But there's something, you know, some signs to watch. Do we see anything in the subtropics? No, we do not. We see nothing really, some spinning there and there besides this one. And then we're going to watch. Okay. Now let's take a look at some weather ensembles. Do we see anything off the GEFS? And the answer is no. Nothing really. And that's really good news. Yeah, we might get our first name storm soon. If it does not, it will. But we do talk about maybe some ensembles off the eastern coast. Yeah, a little bit more activity in the subtropics. Nothing in the Atlantic. No big signs going 336 hours out. Not really a big sign here. Pretty dead for the GFS. The European only goes out 240 hour out. And seriously, nothing. Maybe that subtropical wave does become Andrea. Few ensembles off the coast. We're going to have to keep a watch on that. But besides that, the Atlantic is pretty quiet, you guys. Alright? And it's really a good thing. And it's going to be time for it to prepare. It's time to prepare, not, you know. Alright. Let's take a little bit more of a look at something else. Let's say keep taking a look at Andrea here, our last little bit update, as we are waiting for the newest National Hurricane Center. If it does not, I'm just going to make a post on it on YouTube and the Twitter and all that. But in the latest frames, nothing really. Yeah, we got some convection offset, but there is convection. Alright. And that's something we're going to have to watch out for. Anything updated on the National Hurricane Center? If not, we are completely chilling and fine. And I'll probably wrap it up, you guys. Have a great night. See you guys in the next one. Have a good night.